everyone, I'm really excited for today's video because my channel members voted that I do this. So I am going to take all of my Scott Cunningham books. Okay, we're gonna go through them in a second, but if you don't know, Scott Cunningham is an OG in the witchcraft and Wicca communities. I love him. He had such a monumental impact on the whole witchcraft scene. I love his books still to this day, even though some people don't care for his books because they do have a Wiccan flair. Obviously, they are a product of the time that they were written, but I wish I could have met him. You know, I wish that he would have been alive for me to have a conversation with him. I just adore his work so much. So I thought it would be really fun because Scott Cunningham books were some of the first books I ever read as a teenager getting into witchcraft. I mean, we're talking decades ago at this point. I thought it would be kind of a return to basics, not necessarily a return to basics, but revisiting the spark that drew me to the craft in the first place. So I am going to draw randomly to figure out, okay, let me explain what I'm doing first. I haven't even explained what we're doing. All right. Here's the plan. I am going to pick a Scott Cunningham book at random, and then I am going to get a random number generator to give me any number 1 through however many book pages there are. And then when I open to that page, so let's say it's this book right here, and the number generator tells me 52, I'm going to turn to page 52, and then we are going to perform the ritual that is either on that page, or if there's not one like right on that page, I'll pick the one that's closest to that page number. I do have to rule out a couple of these books though, because I don't know if they're really gonna have too many spells and rituals for us to perform. For example, the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. This is still one of my favorite books today for the magical associations of herbs. I know there's so many other books out there. I've read all those other books, but this is just a staple. I mean, I have not personally found one when it comes to magical herbs specifically that I like better than this OG Scott Cunningham. So this is one of my favorites for sure. I did also want to, at some point, I still want to do a video that discusses all of my herbal, medicinal, and gardening books that I would recommend though, because I have a ton of books that I would recommend for that go well beyond just the magical uses of herbs, but get a little bit more into herbalism. That's another video for another day. My channel members voted that that is not the video that we're seeing today. We are seeing the Scott Cunningham one. So anyways, this is the magical household. This one is spells and rituals for the home. This one would be really, really fun because there's so many different, charms that we can do for the household. So I am going to say yes to this one as far as the being put in the random number generator. Earth Power, one of the first Scott Cunningham books I ever read. It connects you to the earth element, water, air, and fire. So a lot of elemental magic. And then there's also a follow-up book called literally Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. It's even more techniques for natural magic. So we've got 2 elemental books here to go with our household book. Then we have Wicca in the kitchen. I might adapt the ritual a little bit. If it is very Wicca heavy, I'm not a Wiccan, I don't typically practice those rituals. I might modify it slightly. So I'm gonna keep this book in the running. We can definitely do some kitchen witchery if that's what it calls for. We'll see. I also have the complete incense, oils, and brews book. So you know what? Let's just throw this one into the ring. Maybe today we'll make an incense, an oil, or a brew. I don't know. This last one here, I am not going to include this one, but I do have the Encyclopedia of Crystal, Gem, and Metal Magic. And the reason why I'm not including this one as an option for today is the same reason why I'm not including this one. It's because these 2 encyclopedias, it more so gives you a list of correspondences basically, rather than a ton of spells and rituals. Although I do think he has some rituals in here with very specific crystals, but it would just be like working with a very specific crystal. And what if I don't have that crystal? I don't know. So I'm nixing these 2. We're not doing these 2 today, but our random number generator is going to decide whether we do an incense oil, a little kitchen witchery, elemental magic, or maybe some sort of household charm. And if you like this video, let me know, because we can continue doing this. I mean, I could continue doing this just with Scott Cunningham books, or I have a ton of books back here that we could also do this with. So I think it would just be really fun. So anyways, let me get this all set up. We'll come back. We will commence figuring out what we're doing. So I have put these books in order. 1 through 5, 1 at the top, 5 at the bottom. I have also written down numbers 1 through 5 and placed them in here, little tiny pieces of paper. So we are gonna be totally random here. Let me shake them all up. And I tried to crumple them up as best as possible so I couldn't tell, you know, what one was what. All right, let's see which one we select out of these 5. Okay, I have 2 that are in my hand right now, and now I'm nervous as to which one I drop. So we've got 1 here. Let's see what it is. Okay, I crumpled this up a little bit too much. 2. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of elemental magic, because that is, number 2 is the secondary elemental book that he wrote as a follow-up to Earth Power. So we get to do a little bit of elemental magic in this video. Let me get a random number generator up on my phone and we'll see what ritual we get. So minus the glossary and index, it looks like there's 196 pages. So I just told ChatGPT we're gonna pick a number 1 through 196 and see what ChatGPT chooses. Okay, we have 143. So let's see what ritual is at 143, or at least closest to it if we don't have. Ooh, okay, 143 marks chapter 17, wishing well magic. Oh my gosh, how sweet. We get to do some wishing well magic. I'm excited for that. Okay, it's such a simple act and millions of us do it every year. A well or a fountain or a spring sits there sparkling in the sunlight. We experience a sudden urge to fish for a coin in our pocket or purse. Then firmly grasping the money, we make a wish and throw the coin into the well, curiously continuing an ancient tradition without really knowing why. Okay, I'm wondering if there's an actual ritual that we can do with a wishing well, because you all just watching me stand here throwing a coin in a wishing well, boom, done, the video's over. That's a little bit boring. Oh, so he does do a couple different types of wishing well spells. So we have a penny for loving, a money wishing well spell, a purification for beauty, creating a wishing well at home. Ooh, okay, let me read through these really quick. Stones that you should use with a wishing well. I'm gonna read through these really quick and see what we can do on this video, but we're gonna be working with a wishing well, and that's so sweet. All right, after reading through this, here's what I'm proposing. Here's what I'm thinking. So Scott Cunningham does say, here are some specific spells to use with wishing wells: springs, ponds, pools, streams, even fountains. For the sake of simplicity, I have used the word well throughout this chapter, but these rituals can be performed with any body of water. I do not have a wishing well anywhere near me, and I actually am not super close by to any sort of springs, pools, ponds, or anything like that. So we don't even have fountains in my city. I'm wondering if maybe we should just do the one where it says create a wishing well at home. So let's create a wishing well together, and then we can also do one of these other spells into the wishing well that we have created. So the book gives us this option. If there are no nearby wishing wells or springs or lakes and things of that nature, the well should be of some kind of natural material. The book actually suggests a large glazed clay flower pot with no drainage holes. Or you could use any large bowl, but I really like the idea of using a natural material. So I'm wondering, I don't have any clay here, and it would have to be glazed to hold the water so it doesn't get soggy. I'm thinking maybe we go to the thrift store together. I would like to go to the thrift store and maybe see if we can find a glazed clay pot of some sort, or maybe just a really big bowl that is made of some sort of natural material. Yeah, let's go to the thrift store. It is like a week into the future at this point. I have not had time to go to the thrift store, but I just started my new job. Welcome to my 1980s kitchen. And my dog. Anyways, I haven't had time to go to the thrift store because I started my new job and I have had 12-hour days. I'm not even kidding you. So I've had no time to go to the thrift store. This video, like I filmed the introduction for it, but I haven't done anything since then. So what I found, okay, let me flip you around. Okay, this is my little beverage cart, and this I think is gonna work perfect for the wishing well. I normally store my Crystal Light, you know, whatever's in here, my stevia packets, but I can find a different container for that because it's glazed pottery. I mean, this is glazed clay, which is perfect and exactly what the book said. I have this matching thing here, but this isn't quite the right shape because it's a little bit too narrow at the top. So I'm thinking that we use this as our wishing well. I think it's perfect. So let me empty this out. I honestly really want to take this and put it outside under the sun just so it can soak up some solar energy. I don't really know what we're supposed to do next, so I have to go look at the book, but I really want to just put this out in the garden. That way it can soak up some good energies out there, and then we'll kind of figure out what our next move is. Everybody say hi to Loki. Loki, come here. Come here. Want to come say hi? Come here. Come sit. Good boy. All right, let's leave this right on the edge of the garden bed. And then let's go read the book and see what we have to do next. Come on, let's go. So it looks like we do need to activate our wishing well. So while you're filling it up with water, you are to chant water bubbles in this well, giving birth to write and spell. Then we're going to take a coin and we're going to toss it in to activate it. There will be another chant as well. And then basically at that point, it looks like there's some visualizations as well. But after that point, we should be able to use the wishing well for any other spell in this chapter. Okay, it's been a couple hours. I'm upstairs right now. There's a little wishing well. Do you think it's time to grab it? I think so. It's been a couple hours. I mean, the book didn't say that we had to leave it outside or anything. I wanted to put it outside to kind of soak up some good energies, but it's been a little bit, so I think it's probably time to go grab it. So let's go. Now, the book doesn't really say to do this, but I'm someone that likes a little bit of pomp and circumstance, so I really like to set up my ritual space. I ended up just finding this enhance oil. I have a bunch of different kinds of ritual oils, but thought this one would work perfectly for today. So I wanted to add it into my oil burner and light the candle, sort of set the ambiance. You might want to consider dim the lighting, burning some incense. Again, none of this is really discussed in this section of the book, but I do think it's really important to create your ritual space and to make it a sacred experience. It's just a lot easier to channel energy that way, direct your energy. For me, at least, that is the advice that I always give to people, is to set up your ritual space and you are setting yourself up for success. So here are the coins that I will be using in the ritual. I just grabbed some random coins from my purse and turns out I only have 3. You are going to hold the coin in your projective hand. Now, a lot of people argue whether this is your left or your right hand. Some people say your right is your projecting, your left hand is your receiving. Again, I don't really prescribe too much to that, but you're going to visualize the wishing well as a place of untold power where this brilliant blue light streams up from the water, where energies submerge and emerge, and where magic is made. And then you are going to chant the following. As you say the final word, toss the coin into the water to energize and prepare it for your future magical workings. Now remember, once the coins have been thrown into the well, you've given them to the element of water. So you're going to want to leave the coins in just as you would in an outdoor wishing well. The book does say that you can also toss objects into the well, so such as shells or rocks with magical symbols perhaps drawn onto them. It says even some precious stones, and also you're allowing these objects and coins to collect in the well over time. So it really does, it seems, gain power the more times that you use it. I have some of these rocks that I've held onto for a really long time that came from the ocean, so I think I'm going to use these and put them at the bottom of the wishing well. And it looks like we have a list of stones for use with the wishing well if you wanted to add some additional correspondences here. But this is what the wishing well is looking like currently. Got my 4 rocks from the ocean in there, as well as my quarter to activate the wishing well. I do have 2 more coins here that I'd like to drop in. So let's see which ritual we want to try today. So we have a penny for loving. You can use the penny, which I do have 1 penny here, to smooth the path of a rocky relationship. You visualize you and your mate enjoying happy times, giving full attention to your love. And then there's a chant here. I don't necessarily have any need for this particular working right now, so the next one would be a money wishing well spell. So you can hold any coin, not just a penny, in your projective hand. I don't personally prescribe to the idea of a projective hand and a receiving hand, particularly because I'm left-handed and also slightly ambidextrous from being forced to live in a right-handed world. So everything's always backwards for me, and I don't really believe in the whole projecting receiving. As an ambidextrous person, it kind of doesn't really work for me. But you visualize yourself enjoying the fruits of prosperity, and there's a chant for this as well. Feel free to pause the screen if you want to read that. Then we have a psychic spell. Ooh, okay, so what do we do for this one? Oh, so we want to use a silver American coin minted before 1964 because those are actually made of silver. Interesting. Coins dated later than 1964 are mostly base metals covered with a thin layer of silver, so they have less power for the purpose. I really like so far that the types of coins that you use really determine their use in a spell. So let's see, I have this dime here. I have no idea if it's before 1964. It probably isn't. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is a dime from 2004. So that is not full silver. Didn't think so. Well, that's okay. We can always modify, but I want to see what else is in this chapter that we can work with. So we've got a purification spell here, and then we've got one for beauty. I'm not necessarily, here's my problem. I'm not in a dire need for really any of these, but I want to try to do the one where I have the appropriate coins for it. So we might actually end up doing the penny spell. So this beauty spell actually requires 5 pennies in your hand, which I do not have 5 pennies. I tried to look for more change, but surprisingly, I do not have change at all. And then we created the wishing well at home, and I think that's the last one in this chapter. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go back and do the penny spell because that's the one that I do have. So this one was, what was it? Oh, a penny for loving, to smooth the path of a rocky relationship. Okay, I gotta think about this for a second. I gotta see if there's a relationship in my life that could utilize some nice smoothing over, because every relationship can use a little bit of smoothing over, I'm sure, right? Even if things are going well, it can't hurt. So you know what? Let's give it a go. Oh, this is why. So the book says that older pennies are made from copper, and obviously copper is associated with the Venus. So that is specifically why you need a penny for this working. So we're working with a little bit of Venusian energy with the copper, and then of course the water element. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm supposed to toss this penny over my right shoulder and get it into the wishing well. I do not have that kind of aim. This is going to be really bad. Okay, so you say this chant. Essentially, you say, coin of the realm, metal of Venus, ensure that naught will come between us. Strengthen our love this magical day. This is our will and this is the way. And you say that while you're visualizing this mending happening between you and the other person. So I'm going to take a moment to do that off camera to get my energy all up in here, and then I will cut to me trying to throw this over my right shoulder and trying to get it into the well. So we'll see. Oh, didn't work. It didn't work. Let's go again. Okay. Oh, I got so close. I got so close. Okay. How many times am I gonna do this? How many times is this gonna be on camera? Oh, that was so close. All right, I think I have too much muscle because I'm throwing these like way too far. I lost my penny. I gotta climb under my desk. Where'd it go? Oh, got it. Oh! Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that 17 times and then scream when you finally get it in. I'm pretty sure that's not how you do it. Sorry about my hair today, y'all. I couldn't be bothered. Anyways, one of the reasons why I really love Scott Cunningham still to this day is because these charms, these rituals are just They're so simple. They're so sweet and simple. And even though in my own personal practice, I've gotten a lot more ceremonial, and I would really consider it ceremonial magic nowadays, it just brings me back to a time and a place when I was, I don't know, 16, doing simple rituals like this, and it's nostalgic, it's beautiful, anyone can do it. So if you like these kinds of videos and you just like these little mini episodes of us doing a charm, a spell, or a ritual from not just a Scott Cunningham book, or we could do another episode where we choose Scott Cunningham books, but anything like that, let me know, because this was really fun. I'm anticipating this video is probably only gonna be like 10 minutes or something very short, I don't know, but it's kind of fun to do these little mini episodes. I don't know, it reignites the passion for magic, for me at least, and so I hope it does for you. So let me know your feedback if you like these short episodes and if we should do this again. Actually, let me flip you around, hold on. Here is the final look at our wishing well. So this is just gonna build over time. I'm gonna keep this for a while and keep going with it. So we've got our quarter to activate, our little penny for mending the relationship, my little rocks. I wanna add some seashells to this. I'm gonna have to hunt around. I think I do have seashells somewhere. Actually, let's do that now. Let's add, I think I have some in these drawers somewhere. I forgot I had this though. Look at that placemat that's all shells. I think this would be perfect to set the well on. So I think I'm gonna have it. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? That's perfect. Okay, I think I'm gonna find a permanent spot for it. I think I'm gonna move my Golden Dawn books and then just have it on that corner there. So let's do that. You know what? Let's just throw this dime in there to feed it. I'm gonna feed you, little wishing well. Move these over here. Beautiful, love it. And there, I can bring the lid too to cover it to make sure that it doesn't get, you know, dusty and whatnot, but I'm gonna play with this for a little while and see how it goes. My chaos magic brain is thinking you could also use this as a well of knowledge. You could use it to scry even. You could ask a question to this well of knowledge, so to speak, and then scry into the water to see if you see any images. You know, just dim the lights a little bit, soften your gaze, and gaze into the bowl. Oh man, there's so many opportunities to play here. So yeah, if you liked this video, definitely let me know. I will hopefully see you in another mini episode soon. Bye everyone.